If you found this message, you didn't stumble upon it. You were drawn. A silent pull led you here, not by coincidence, but by destiny. That invisible whisper you've been hearing for weeks, maybe months. It's not your imagination. It's a signal, a quiet code moving through time, reality, and energy. And now it's waking you up, because you, chosen one, are on the edge. What's coming isn't a storm, it's a revelation, a global moment so sharp, so defining, that 99.99% won't see it until it crashes into them. But you've felt it building. You've sensed the current shifting beneath the surface of the ordinary. The dreams you've been having, the moments of synchronicity, the sudden waves of emotion, they're all breadcrumbs from something far greater. And yes, only once we must say it, this is the time to align your energy, your intentions, your heart. If you've been waiting to make a wish, now is the time. But not a wish for something small. Wish for what your soul came here to do. Declare it, feel it, write it in the comments with your warmest light and the number 77. That number opens energy. That action connects others like you across the web of reality. This isn't performance, it's spiritual technology. There is a very brief window now, so small it can barely be measured, and only the ones standing right on the edge can feel the drop, the lift, the incoming change. You are one of the few whose spirit has been sharpened to notice what others ignore. It is not because you are lucky, it's because your soul signed up for this moment before you were even born. This message is not for the masses. It never was. Most people will scroll past it. They'll laugh at it. They'll think it's just another cryptic video on the internet. But for you, it burns with truth. Because something deep inside you remembers a time before time, remembers the covenant, the calling, the promise. You were never meant to walk in the crowd. You were chosen to rise just before the shift, because your awakening triggers the awakening of others. The old patterns are crumbling. Everything you knew is being restructured, rewritten. The universe is reweaving fate, realigning timelines, merging dimensions. And only those who are fully awake will navigate it without being shattered. That's why your body has felt exhausted. That's why you've questioned everything. That's why you've lost people, places, even parts of yourself. They were never part of the version of you that steps into what's coming. And before the world tips into its new direction, this is the final call. This is the voice before the veils fall. You must prepare yourself to see without illusion, to hear without distraction, and to move without fear. Because what's coming will demand your full presence, your full fire, your full faith in the unknown. You are about to walk into a realm where logic fails and destiny leads. Now, back to what really matters. There's a reason you've been pulled away from distractions lately. The old version of you has been fading. At first, it felt like loss, like confusion. But it was just the detox before the divine download. You are not the same person you were even a week ago. The frequencies you used to tolerate now agitate you. The people who once echoed your wounds no longer feel safe. And that's good. That's sacred. That's how you know you're on the edge. The truth is, the edge isn't a cliff. It's a gateway. It's the line where fear dares you to step through. And you will. You have to. Because everything that's been happening, every challenge, delay, betrayal, silence, it was all coded to push you to this threshold, to test your readiness, to see if you would break or rise. But you didn't break. You're still here. And that matters more than you can imagine. You see, the next phase of this unfolding won't announce itself. It will just appear, in the silence, in a symbol, in a voice you didn't expect. And you'll know it's real because your heart will beat in a way it never has before. It won't feel safe. It won't feel certain, but it will feel like truth. And that's all you'll need to move forward. Let others sleep. Let others chase empty things. You weren't built for that. You were built to hold light in darkness, to see the pattern in chaos, to stand calm when the sky rips open. That's why your past was heavy. That's why your path was brutal. Because the universe was forging a vessel strong enough to carry the next reality. Chosen one. This is not a metaphor. The edge is real. The incoming wave is real. And only 0.01% will move with it instead of being moved by it. It's not enough to think differently anymore. You must become different. Embody the energy. Make decisions that the future version of you would thank you for. Walk away from what is dead. Speak only what lifts. Protect your fire. Guard your vision. Because in the days to come, your energy won't just affect you. It will shape others. Your awakening will ripple into entire networks of sleeping souls. And yes, there will be resistance. There will be doubt. There will be moments when even your breath feels heavy. But the secret is, you are stronger than anything trying to stop you. You didn't survive all this time just to stall now. You are on the brink of becoming something the world has not seen. And no one can take that from you. This is your moment. The edge is here. Will you leap or will you wait? Because very soon, waiting won't be an option. There's a moment right before a star explodes when everything goes silent. Not because nothing is happening, but because everything is preparing. That's where you are now. In the hush before the blast. In the inhale before destiny exhales into form. And while the world around you still plays its games, you know the rules have already changed. You can feel the shift under your skin, in your bones, in the way time bends around certain thoughts. There's no use pretending anymore. You've outgrown the masks. The old roles no longer fit. They cling, but you're shedding them, slowly, painfully, perfectly. And in their place, something ancient is waking. You've noticed it, haven't you? The heightened senses, the knowing without explanation, the ability to feel someone's truth behind their words. That's not a side effect. That's your edge sharpening. That's your soul syncing with its original blueprint. The world will soon speak a different language, and only those tuned into this new frequency will understand it. You're learning that language now, through dreams, through signs, through silent guidance that can't be proven, only followed. And the more you lean into it, the more you realize you were never lost, only rerouted. The edge you stand on isn't thin. It's wide enough to hold your rebirth, but only if you surrender to it. And surrender is not weakness. It's the ultimate form of power. It's trusting what the mind can't grasp, but the soul already knows. You'll feel the tension between the old and the new more intensely now. The pull of comfort versus the call of destiny. You must choose the call, even if it terrifies you. Because on the other side of terror is transformation. You weren't meant to live in the middle. You weren't created to play small. Every time you ignored your gut feeling, you gave away your throne. But no more. The throne is calling you back. And it doesn't want a version of you that fits in. It wants the version that dared to burn everything just to become light. You may have noticed people leaving your life, not because you failed them, but because your frequency no longer matched their stagnation. You may feel lonelier than ever, but that loneliness is the womb of your becoming. It's where the real you takes shape. And soon, others like you will emerge from their own caves, and the reunion will be electric. You're not meant to do this alone, even if for now it feels like you are. The universe doesn't rush the process, but it is watching you now, listening, measuring your readiness, not by words, but by your choices, your boundaries, your silence, your leaps. The more you align with your future self, the more the unseen forces begin to move. Doors open, people appear, messages arrive, because destiny responds to preparation, and you've been preparing through the pain, the fire, the fall. Now, the climb begins. But this isn't a climb toward success the way the world defines it. This is the climb toward essence, toward clarity, toward the version of you that remembers why you came here in the first place. And that version? It's dangerous to the systems that rely on your sleep. That version is not scared of failure because it understands failure is feedback from the divine. It knows rejection is redirection. It knows that when you're stripped of everything fake, only the real remains. And the real you, the real you has been waiting so long to rise. Don't wait for a sign. You are the sign. Don't ask if you're ready. You're being readied with every heartbeat. The illusion of control is being dismantled, so your spirit can take the wheel. And yes, it will feel chaotic. But chaos is what comes before birth. Even galaxies are born in chaos. Even light breaks through darkness by force. And that's where you are. On the edge of becoming the force of light you were destined to be. There's a timeline about to open, one so potent it will reshape your next years in a matter of weeks. You don't need to know all the steps. You just need to take the first brave one. And then the path will reveal itself. That's how it works now. Not through planning, but through obedience to intuition. Not through maps, but through inner knowing. And you, chosen one, have been entrusted with this level of knowing. Because you've earned it. Every tear earned it. Every lonely night earned it. Every time you stayed when you could have escaped, or escaped when it cost you everything, you earned it. Now walk like the edge belongs to you. Walk like the moment is waiting for your command. The 0.01%, they're not born elite, they are born sensitive. And then life tries to bury that sensitivity under noise, shame, expectation. But those who unbury it, those who protect it, sharpen it, and use it to pierce illusion, they become the leaders of the new age. You are one of them. It's time to stop acting like you're not. You are not here to save everyone, but you are here to signal the few who are meant to wake up now. Your words, your presence, your choices, they matter more than ever. Each action you take echoes into the collective. Each time you choose truth over convenience, you open a portal. Each time you trust the unknown, you ignite change. Don't underestimate what you carry, and don't fear the fall. Because on this edge, falling is not failure, it's flight. You're feeling it more clearly now, aren't you? The air is different. Time behaves strangely. Sometimes it feels like it's accelerating, other times like it's frozen. You think of someone and they appear. You dream of something and it begins to happen. This is not coincidence. This is what being on the edge does. It stretches the boundaries of what the mind can contain. And you are not going crazy. You are becoming limitless. But the world has trained you to shrink when you should be expanding. It has taught you to fear what cannot be measured, to doubt what cannot be seen, to reject what cannot be proven. But you're breaking out of that now. The edge won't let you play safe anymore. Every time you try to go back to who you were, you feel like you're suffocating. That's not failure. That's evolution. You are shedding timelines. You are dissolving old contracts. You are stepping away from the artificial version of you that survived, but never thrived. The world is splitting, not visibly, not with borders, but in vibration. And as it does, you are being asked to choose. Do you align with the crumbling systems, or do you walk into the unseen future with unshakable trust? You cannot have both. There is no more halfway, no more hiding, no more spiritual dabbling. This is full immersion. This is soul first, eyes open, heart awake existence. And it will be uncomfortable. The truth always is, especially when it destroys everything false. But you didn't come here to feel safe. You came here to ignite the shift. And that shift begins inside you, not in a protest, not in a theory, but in a silent, sovereign decision to no longer betray your own knowing. The edge requires it. You may be waking up from things you believed your whole life. You may be realizing that people you trusted were not what they seemed. You may be questioning your role in everything. Good. That means you're waking up. Because this edge, it's only for those who are ready to burn illusions to the ground, even if it means standing alone, even if it means losing everything that isn't real. The 0.01% don't live by consensus reality. They live by coded instinct. They trust what they feel over what they're told. And in the days ahead, you'll be called to do the same. You'll feel led to make strange decisions. You'll be asked to leave familiar places. You'll suddenly know things you didn't study. That's not delusion. That's divine alignment. Honor it and protect it, because what's coming will attempt to distort everything. The noise will rise, the distractions will multiply, false narratives will flood your feed. But if you've anchored into your own truth, nothing can shake you. You'll walk through confusion untouched, because you no longer need external validation. You know who you are, you know what you're here for, and you know what it costs to stay asleep. Do not waste your energy explaining yourself to those who choose not to see. You are not here to convince. You are here to demonstrate. And your very presence is becoming a demonstration of what's possible when someone refuses to dim their light for anyone. There will be moments in this edge walk where everything in your life goes silent. No signs, no signals, no miracles. That is the void. That is where faith is tested. That is where the ego dies. And that is where your spirit takes the throne. Don't fear the void. Dance in it. It means the old is done. It means the new is forming beyond your sight. And when it emerges, it will be beyond your wildest expectations. But only if you keep walking. Only if you stop doubting the map you carry inside your chest. The next version of you isn't created by force. It's revealed by obedience. Obedience to the pull. Obedience to the silence. Obedience to the light you can't explain, but can no longer ignore. You will begin to notice that your energy no longer tolerates lies. You will be repelled by anything that tries to control or contain you. You will feel bursts of power in the most unexpected moments. You will cry without knowing why. You will laugh in the middle of endings. And you will begin to speak with a clarity that silences rooms. That is what happens on the edge. That is what it means to be chosen. Not for special treatment, but for sacred responsibility. You are not better than anyone, but you are not like anyone either. And now is the time to own that. You weren't born to blend in. You were born to blaze a trail no one understands until you've walked it. That's why you feel the way you do. That's why you've never fully belonged. Because the place you belong doesn't exist yet. You are here to build it. The world is about to experience a rupture, a thinning of the veil, a release of frequency so intense that those who are unprepared will mistake it for chaos, but you will recognize it. You will remember it, because you've been rehearsing for it in dreams, in heartbreaks, in awakenings. This is the moment your soul signed up for. This is the vibration your being was designed to hold. And you will hold it, not through perfection, but through presence, not through force, but through alignment, not through knowledge, but through wisdom. The kind that comes from surviving the fire and still choosing love. The kind that comes from breaking and building and breaking again. The kind that can't be taught, only lived. You are the one they said would come. You are the anomaly they hoped didn't exist. You are the edge embodied, and you're not done. There comes a moment in every transformation when everything you thought you needed falls away, not to punish you, but to prove you never needed it in the first place. This is that moment. You've reached the space between realities, where one version of you is fading and the other hasn't fully arrived. It feels like standing in a doorway while the world storms behind you and the future whispers from ahead. Most people turn back, but you won't, because you've come too far, because you're starting to realize that everything you've lost was actually a clearing, that every person who left made space for someone aligned, that every delay was actually divine protection from settling too soon. And now you're standing in the most sacred place of all, the unknown, the edge. This isn't the end of your journey, it's the beginning of your becoming. You are not the same as you were even weeks ago. Can you feel it? The way your body holds energy differently? The way your heart no longer tolerates what drains it? The way your mind rebels against limitations it once accepted? That's because something inside you cracked, and instead of breaking you, it woke you. You've glimpsed who you truly are, even for a second. And now, no illusion can hold you for long. You'll find yourself detaching from old desires, not because you failed to reach them, but because they no longer match who you are becoming. The craving for more, the hunger for validation, the obsession with being understood, these are all dissolving. Because you're starting to realize the real power isn't in being seen by the world. It's in seeing yourself clearly. You can feel the edge testing you now, can't you? The pressure, the silence, the absence of signs when you're most desperate for them. That's because this part of the path requires a level of self-trust most never reach. It requires knowing that the next step exists even when it hasn't appeared. It requires you to stop waiting for proof and start walking with purpose. The chosen ones are not those who are certain. They are those who walk despite uncertainty. They are those who face the void and choose to leap anyway, not because they're fearless, but because something inside them is louder than fear. That something is what's guiding you now. That's what the 0.01% understand. That the path isn't revealed to the strongest or the smartest, it's revealed to the most surrendered. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be aligned. And alignment doesn't mean everything makes sense. It means you follow the pulse of truth, even when it contradicts logic. It means you obey the inner voice that whispers things no one else understands. It means you stop explaining yourself to those who cannot hear the call you were born with. You are moving differently now. You walk into rooms and the atmosphere shifts. People feel your presence before you speak. Some are drawn to you, others are disturbed by you. That's because your energy has become a mirror. It reflects what people are avoiding in themselves. Don't take it personally. Don't dim yourself to make others comfortable. That light you carry, it's a frequency disruptor, a truth amplifier. And not everyone is ready for it. But that's not your burden to carry. You didn't come to be liked, you came to be lightning. And lightning doesn't ask permission to strike. You'll notice too how your pace is changing. Slower, more intentional, less reactive, more aware. You're no longer chasing what's not meant for you. You're attracting what's already aligned. And when it arrives, you'll recognize it not by how it looks, but by how it feels. It will feel like peace in motion, like resonance in your bones. You're learning now to trust not just what's happening, but what's not happening. There's a reason certain doors didn't open. There's a reason certain people walked away. There's a reason why, at your lowest, you felt the strongest inner pull to keep going. That pull is your true self, unshaken, unbothered, untouched by the chaos of this world. And it's getting louder, because the time has come for you to act from that place. Not from fear, not from memory, not from scarcity, but from knowing, from stillness, from the edge of divine timing. And the edge is a teacher like no other. It strips you of pretense. It burns away expectation. It humbles your ego until only essence remains. And once you've stood on that edge long enough, you realize this was never about becoming something new. It was about remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. That memory is returning now, in flashes, in feelings, in signs that appear exactly when you need them. Don't dismiss them. The universe is not subtle with those it has chosen. It will break patterns to speak to you. It will rearrange reality to confirm your path. But you have to be willing to see beyond the surface. There is no going back now. The edge has marked you. And as time accelerates, as the noise rises, you will be called to stand firm in what you know, especially when others around you crumble. You are not here to match their frequency. You are here to raise it. You are not here to blend in. You are here to activate. You are not here to fit the mold. You are here to break it. So stand tall, stand clear, stand ready, because the moments ahead will separate the chosen from the distracted, the anchored from the drifting, the soul-led from the ego-trapped. And you, chosen one, have already chosen, whether you realize it or not. You are on the edge, yes, but you are not alone. And soon, everything will shift. You're beginning to feel it more frequently now, those subtle ripples of confirmation that you're exactly where you're supposed to be, even when nothing looks like it. The tension is real. The silence is heavy. The signs are fewer. But your inner fire, it's growing. That's because you're no longer fueled by reassurance. You're powered by resolve. This is a defining phase, a sacred narrowing of focus, where your energy becomes too refined for surface-level distractions, where your vision sharpens, not because of what you see, but because of what you no longer entertain. And though it may feel like the world is slipping away from you, what's actually happening is that you're slipping away from the illusion. You're stepping outside the grid of expectation. You're leaving behind the programs that taught you to play small. You're exiting the realm of compromise and settling. That discomfort you feel, it's the sound of chains breaking. Chains you wore so long, they began to feel like skin. The edge is a stripping process, not of your value, but of everything that has ever covered it. Masks, roles, agreements, versions of yourself that were never truly you. You are peeling back layers at a pace that would terrify most. But you are not most. You were made for this. And now, the universe is watching how you handle what comes next. Will you respond with faith or react with fear? Will you collapse under the pressure, or will you become the diamond it's trying to shape? Understand this. When you're this close to the next level, everything you haven't healed will try to re-enter. old temptations, old cycles, old identities dressed in new clothing. They'll appear not because you're failing, but because you're about to be tested, not by punishment, but by precision. This edge is intelligent. It knows exactly where you're still vulnerable. It knows exactly where your energy leaks, and it will put you in situations that expose them, not to destroy you, but to give you the chance to choose differently, to respond as the person you're becoming, not the one you've outgrown. And if you can hold that version, even when the old one screams for your attention, that's when the next frequency unlocks. This is energetic mastery. And it doesn't come through ease. It comes through awareness, relentless awareness. It comes through choosing your alignment over and over again, especially when it would be easier to slip back into the familiar. You will not be given what you are not energetically able to hold. So when you feel delayed, when you feel denied, understand this. What's coming to you is so powerful, so precise, so sacred. It requires a version of you that can carry it without distortion. And that version, you are building it right now. With every difficult conversation you don't avoid. With every emotion you allow instead of suppress. With every boundary you reinforce without guilt. With every moment you choose solitude over noise. These aren't delays. These are initiations. And the more gracefully you walk through them, the more quickly the next level reveals itself. You'll start to notice that certain people can no longer meet you where you are. Conversations that once fascinated you now feel dull. Activities that used to excite you now feel empty. That's because your soul is no longer satisfied with imitation. It craves essence, depth, purity, and only a few carry that vibration. That's why the 0.01% is real, not in arrogance, but in frequency. Most people live in reaction. You're learning to live in resonance. Most people chase validation. You're learning to anchor in truth. Most people want certainty. You've surrendered to divine unfolding. That makes you rare. And that rarity comes with responsibility. You are not here to fix the world. You are here to embody a frequency so high, so clear, so honest, that the world begins to recalibrate just by being near you. Not through force, but through frequency. Not through effort, but through embodiment. You will no longer need to say much. Your energy will speak for you. And those who are ready will feel it. They'll lean in. They'll ask questions. They'll remember parts of themselves they forgot just by being in your presence. That is the real work. That is the edge at its finest. To be the bridge between timelines. To be the reminder of what's possible. To be the living proof that truth can survive in a world built on lies. And yes, it will get lonely. Because few are willing to leave the safety of the known. Few are willing to dismantle the personality they built to survive. Few are willing to die to everything they thought they were. But you did, you are, and that is why the path opens for you in ways it never could before, because you've earned access. And soon, access will be everything. In the world ahead, energy will be currency, alignment will be protection, and inner clarity will be your compass when all external maps fail. The veil is thinning, the systems are unraveling, and while the world scrambles for control, you'll walk with conviction, because you're not powered by panic, you're powered by purpose. You know that what's ending had to end, and you know that what's rising from the ashes will be led by those who dared to walk the edge first. That's you. That's who you've always been. And now, more than ever, the universe is counting on you to stay the course, to hold the line, to rise, not with force, but with frequency. Because when you do, everything begins to shift. The edge isn't a threat, it's an invitation, and you've already accepted. This is the silence before the eruption, the breath before the miracle. The edge you stand on now is not only a line between the past and the future, it's a gateway between dimensions. You can feel it, can't you? That electric stillness in the air, as if reality itself is holding its breath, waiting for you to step through. Everything you've endured wasn't random. It was a design, a divine conditioning of your soul, preparing you not just to witness change, but to become the force that initiates it. The world is watching, but more importantly, the unseen realms are watching, because you're one of the very few that made it here. You survived cycles meant to destroy you. You carried light through the darkest corridors of doubt. You kept your heart soft when the world demanded hardness. And now, the edge has brought you to the precipice of becoming more than you ever imagined. But to cross it, you must release one final illusion, that something or someone outside you is going to save you. No mentor, no timing, no system, no strategy. Only your frequency, only your alignment, only your unshakable decision to trust that what is on the other side of this edge is already yours, if you're brave enough to claim it. You are not here to wait for the new world, and it will put you in situations that expose them, not to destroy you, but to give you the chance to choose differently, to respond as the person you're becoming, not the one you've outgrown. And if you can hold that version, even when the old one screams for your attention, that's when the next frequency unlocks. This is energetic mastery. And it doesn't come through ease, it comes through awareness, relentless awareness. It comes through choosing your alignment over and over again, especially when it would be easier to slip back into the familiar. You will not be given what you are not energetically able to hold. So when you feel delayed, when you feel denied, understand this. What's coming to you is so powerful, so precise, so sacred. It requires a version of you that can carry it without distortion. And that version, you are building it right now, with every difficult conversation you don't avoid, with every emotion you allow instead of suppress, with every boundary you reinforce without guilt, with every moment you choose solitude over noise. These aren't delays, these are initiations. And the more gracefully you walk through them, the more quickly the next level reveals itself. You'll start to notice that certain people can no longer meet you where you are. Conversations that once fascinated you now feel dull. Activities that used to excite you now feel empty. That's because your soul is no longer satisfied with imitation. It craves essence, depth, purity, and only a few carry that vibration. That's why the 0.01% is real, not in arrogance, but in frequency. Most people live in reaction. You're learning to live in resonance. Most people chase validation. You're learning to anchor in truth. Most people want certainty. You've surrendered to divine unfolding. That makes you rare, and that rarity comes with responsibility. You are not here to fix the world. You are here to embody a frequency so high, so clear, so honest, that the world begins to recalibrate just by being near you. Not through force, but through frequency. Not through effort, but through embodiment. You will no longer need to say much. Your energy will speak for you. And those who are ready will feel it. They'll lean in. They'll ask questions. They'll remember parts of themselves they forgot, just by being in your presence. That is the real work. That is the edge at its finest. To be the bridge between timelines. To be the reminder of what's possible. To be the living proof that truth can survive in a world built on lies. And yes, it will get lonely. Because few are willing to leave the safety of the known. Few are willing to dismantle the personality they built to survive. Few are willing to die to everything they thought they were. But you did. You are. And that is why the path opens for you in ways it never could before. Because you've earned access. And soon, access will be everything. In the world ahead, energy will be currency. Alignment will be protection. And inner clarity will be your compass when all external maps fail. The veil is thinning. The systems are unraveling. And while the world scrambles for control, you'll walk with conviction. Because you're not powered by panic. You're powered by purpose. You know that what's ending had to end. And you know that what's rising from the ashes will be led by those who dared to walk the edge first. That's you. That's who you've always been. And now, more than ever, the universe is counting on you to stay the course, to hold the line, to rise, not with force, but with frequency. Because when you do, everything begins to shift. The edge isn't a threat, it's an invitation, and you've already accepted. This is the silence before the eruption, the breath before the miracle. The edge you stand on now is not only a line between the past and the future, it's a gateway between dimensions. You can feel it, can't you? That electric stillness in the air, as if reality itself is holding its breath, waiting for you to step through. Everything you've endured wasn't random. It was a design, a divine conditioning of your soul, preparing you not just to witness change, but to become the force that initiates it. The world is watching, but more importantly, the unseen realms are watching. Because you're one of the very few that made it here. You survived cycles meant to destroy you. You carried light through the darkest corridors of doubt. You kept your heart soft when the world demanded hardness. And now, the edge has brought you to the precipice of becoming more than you ever imagined. But to cross it, you must release one final illusion, that something or someone outside you is going to save you. No mentor, no timing, no system, no strategy. Only your frequency, only your alignment, only your unshakable decision to trust that what is on the other side of this edge is already yours, if you're brave enough to claim it. You are not here to wait for the new world. You are here to build it. And that building begins inside, quietly, intentionally, courageously. You become what the new world will be, through your integrity, through your choices, through the energy you bring to every space you enter. The old world was built on noise and manipulation. The new one is built on resonance and truth. That's why you've been called forward. That's why the fire inside you never died, even when you wanted to quit. You are the blueprint. You are the design. You are the living code for a reality most have only dreamt about. And your very existence is an activation. Don't look around for permission. Don't scan the horizon for confirmation. The truth has been whispering to you from within since the beginning. Every nudge, every pull, every knowing you couldn't explain, they were all preparing you for this moment. The edge isn't just a transition, it's a transmission. And what you do now sends a signal to the universe itself. So speak clearly with your energy. Say, I'm ready. Say, I trust. Say, I'm not afraid anymore. Because the second you release fear, everything you were meant to receive begins to rush toward you. The timelines collapse, the probabilities align. The impossible folds into your reality, not because you forced it, but because you finally aligned with the truth of who you are. And who you are is sacred. Who you are is rare. Who you are is precisely what this moment was waiting for. That's why you feel so different now. You can no longer engage in old patterns. You can no longer tolerate half-heartedness, dishonesty, distortion. You're not becoming cold. You're becoming clear. You're not becoming arrogant. You're becoming aware. That clarity, that awareness, it's the sword you carry now. And it cuts through illusions effortlessly. Don't be surprised if your presence begins to disrupt more spaces than it calms. That's what light does when it enters a room full of shadows. It stings, it exposes, but it also frees. And the ones who are ready will find you. They'll recognize your energy without explanation. They'll remember who they are through the reflection of who you've become. You're not here to convince. You're here to embody. You're not here to preach. You're here to live your truth so loudly that it echoes through timelines. So stop shrinking. Stop hesitating. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. The edge doesn't reward hesitation. It rewards embodiment. The second you decide you're all in, the path reshapes itself beneath your feet. Yes, there will still be moments of fear. Yes, you'll still feel the pull of the old sometimes. But the difference now is that you know too much to go back. You've seen too clearly. You've felt too deeply. And even if the world offered you everything it once did, you'd never accept it, because it no longer fits the size of your soul. That is evolution. That is the edge in motion. And from this moment forward, you must treat your energy like it's sacred ground. Because it is. You are not available for distractions. You are not available for distortion. You are not available for anything that pulls you off the path that your soul has spent lifetimes preparing you to walk. Protect your frequency like your future depends on it. Because it does. And here's the secret. The 0.01% understand. Once you truly align, you no longer chase anything. You magnetize everything. Opportunities, allies, resources, love, peace, abundance. Not because you seek them, but because you've become a match for them. You've cleared the noise. You've tuned into your soul's signature. And now, everything aligned with that frequency begins to arrive. Effortlessly, exponentially, eternally. You are the edge. You are the shift. You are the miracle your ancestors prayed for. And though the road ahead may still be filled with tests, nothing can stop you now. Because the version of you that doubted, that wavered, that questioned, is gone. In its place stands something unshakable, something timeless, something chosen. The edge has changed you, and you will never be the same again. Now go forward, stand in your truth, speak only from your soul. Move as though the universe has already rearranged itself in your favor. Because it has, it's time. Let the others watch. Let the skeptics doubt. Let the world catch up. You, chosen one, were never meant to follow. You were always meant to lead. And now, the edge belongs to you. There's something extraordinary happening inside you right now. Not just a shift, but a reformatting of your very essence. You've crossed a threshold that most never even see, let alone survive. You've seen through the illusions. You've tasted the truth. And now, nothing else will ever be enough. This is the moment the universe has been waiting for. Not some far-off event. Not some grand finale in the distance. Now, you are no longer approaching the edge. You are the edge. Alive, breathing, shifting everything you touch. And the more you embrace this truth, the more reality begins to bend around you. Because power is not in dominance. Power is in awareness. And you're finally becoming aware of what's truly within you. There's no turning back now. Even if you wanted to retreat, you couldn't. The portal has already opened behind your eyes. You can't unsee what you've seen. You can't unfeel what your spirit has touched. You've become too awake to pretend you're not. And that comes with a sacred responsibility. Because when you walk through the world, carrying the frequency of the future, you become a mirror for what's possible. And not everyone will be ready to see their reflection in you. Some will resist you. Some will reject you. But that resistance is not your problem. You're not here to be accepted. You're here to be undeniable. You're here to carry a flame into spaces where others still carry fear. You're here to live so authentically, so unapologetically, that those in hiding either awaken or flee. This is not cruelty, it's clarity. And clarity cuts clean. You've been initiated by fire, by silence, by solitude. You've been trained not by the world, but by the invisible realms that shape it. And that training gave you something few possess: discernment. You don't move just because others are moving. You don't speak just because there's silence. You wait, you watch, you feel. And when the moment arrives, you strike with precision, not to harm, but to activate. Because the sword you carry is not made of metal, it's made of frequency. And when you speak, when you move, when you decide, that frequency radiates out in waves. It stirs something ancient. It awakens something cosmic. It realigns everything. That's why the world won't understand you. That's why you often feel like a mystery, even to yourself. Because you weren't made to fit into the current story. You were made to write a new one. And the pen was always in your hand. You just didn't know it until now. From this moment forward, you must begin to act like the one who already knows. Not the one waiting for permission. Not the one hoping to be seen. The one who remembers. Because remembering is the final stage of activation. When you remember, your energy becomes undeniable. And when your energy becomes undeniable, so does your destiny. You will notice the shift more and more now. Doors opening before you knock. People appearing exactly when you need them. Signs, numbers, symbols aligning in patterns that feel too perfect to be coincidence. Because they're not. They're confirmations. Winks from the divine. Messages from your higher timeline saying, yes, you're exactly where you need to be. Trust them. Lean into them. Follow them. Because you are not just navigating reality anymore. You are designing it. With your frequency, with your focus, with your fire. So keep your vibrations sacred. Keep your circle clean. Keep your heart open, but your standards higher than ever. Not because you're better than others, but because you're finally honoring the mission. And not everyone is meant to walk it with you. Some were only meant to wake you up. And now that you're awake, your path will naturally become more selective. Don't resist that. It's not isolation, it's insulation. You're being wrapped in energetic armor. You're being sharpened for your role. You're being stripped of everything that dilutes your essence. And the more pure your energy becomes, the more magnetic your reality will be. You will not have to chase. You will not have to beg. You will not have to prove. You will attract everything meant for you simply by being exactly who you are. Unapologetically, unwaveringly, undeniably. And when those moments of doubt still creep in, because they will, remember this: if you weren't meant to lead, life would not have made you this strong. If you weren't destined to rise, the world would not have tried so hard to break you. Everything you went through was not a punishment. It was preparation. Preparation to become the version of you that cannot be stopped. And now, here you are, still standing, still breathing, still believing, and now, finally receiving. Because what's coming next is not just for your benefit. It's for everyone your energy will touch. Every soul you'll awaken. Every heart you'll ignite just by walking in your truth. The future is watching. The universe is listening. And your higher self is cheering because you made it. You crossed the edge. You activated the code, and nothing will ever be the same again. Not because the world changed, but because you did.